And welcome back to JMU Sound Off. Jonathan McNamara here. And as always on this program, one of our goals is to give a voice to the current and former athletes of James Madison University that give us all something to cheer about, not just what they do on the field, but also some of the amazing accomplishments and contributions they make to the community. And one of those players is current JMU linebacker Julio Ayamel. We're going to talk to him today about a new children's book that he has coming out that talks a little bit about financial literacy. And to discuss this project and some other things happening around JMU football, we welcome Julio to the show. Julio, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk with us today. I know you're somebody who's not a stranger to the podcast world, so a multi-talented individual in many, many senses of the word. But before we get into an exciting project that you have going on, it's been an amazing year for you and your teammates on the field, as well as a time of transition for this program. So before we get into the book, wanted to get you to reflect and look back on the 11-2 season, a year that brought incredible national attention to this program, as well as some transition for JMU football. So as you look back on the season that just concluded, what's kind of at the top of your mind as you reflect back on the second year of JMU's transition, as somebody, especially as a player who had time in the CAA and was one of the leaders that helped this group make it to the transition to FBS football?
Yeah, I would say this past season it was a great season. You know what I'm saying? It was a good time. We had a very well season. We did very, very well. A lot of people didn't think we were gonna be able to repeat what we did in the first year, and we proved everybody wrong. And it took a lot of hard work, day in day out. Everybody buying in, the leaders stepping up. We had a very senior leadership heavy team. A lot of veteran guys, fifth year, sixth year, fourth year guys on the team. So leadership was there, and we were able to come together and put in the work to do what we did this year.
Is there a moment when you reflect back on the season? Obviously, the third college game day appearance for JMU, some big wins for this program, none bigger than the win at UVA. What are some of the highlights for you in terms of this past season that you'll think back as you go throughout this offseason and look towards next year?
One I will never forget is the UVA game, simply just because. So in my grad classes, we have two UVA transfers. So UVA game was in the beginning of the semester, and they just got to JMU from UVA, and they were like, "Oh, y'all are gonna lose!" Like they're in class talking trash, like UVA this, UVA that. And it's funny because during the rain delay, one of my classmates from UVA who was in my grad class, she texted me in the rain delay, and I picked up my phone and I seen there's a text message from her, and it's like two orange hearts, and I'm like, wow, like
Wow.
you couldn't wait till like the game's over. I'm like, but I was like, okay, it's cool. Watch this.
All
I
right.
literally texted her like the words, "Watch this," and after the game, like she was ignoring my calls, my text messages. So that was good. That's gonna be a great memory for sure.
Well, take it really quickly though, because you mentioned the rain delay. Take us a little bit inside the locker room, because obviously whatever happened inside that locker room, kind of fueled you all to have
Yeah.
an amazing comeback and one of those moments that we're all kind of look back, not just in reflection of this season, but for years to come. Take us inside the locker room a little bit of what went down that allowed you to kind of shoot out of it like a cannon, coming in for the remainder of that fourth quarter.
Yeah, so it's a pretty common theme here at JMU in my past five years I've been here. We've never thought we were gonna lose, no matter who we played, no matter where it was at. Losing was just has never crossed our mind. Like it's like we just go into every game expecting to win, no matter who we play, and that's just kind of how it is, and this is kind of how it's been. So for instance, like the App State game, even though we were down a lot, you know what I'm saying? We never thought we were going to lose. If there's time left on that board, we're going to think we're going to find a way to come back. And so going in the locker room, we're like, this is perfect. Like this, like everybody's like smiling, like this plays into our hand. Like we're ready. Like we're going to come out this rain delay. We're going to punch them in the mouth and we're going to win this game. Like they done messed up giving us a rain delay because this is the break that we needed to regroup and get our footing. And so everybody in the locker room was confident. Nobody had no doubt that we were going to lose that game after the rain delay. So it's just a part of JMU's culture winning, and that's just all we know. And losing never crosses our mind, no matter how much points we're down, no matter what quarter it's in, no matter how much time is left. As long as it's not 0-0-0 on that score on that clock, we think we're gonna win, and that's just how it is.
So you mentioned the culture of JMU football, and that's something that has really been developed and built over multiple coaching staff as multiple teams. Um, when I've talked to players, a common theme that's come through is really a player driven, a player led
Yeah.
culture within that. Speak to that and why you think that is such a critical part of this program's continued and sustained success, and how you think that that's going to transition into the new leadership now that's steering this program into the future.
Yeah. So one thing about the players in the locker room, like it's a no when it comes to what happens in between those white lines, it's a no BS, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all accountable, we all call each other out and we can sense when somebody's BSing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we're always going to get on each other. So if somebody's slacking or somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do, you going to hear about it, and you going to hear about it from a lot of people. And it's that's just how it is. Like everybody's always competing. We're very competitive against each other, whether it's practice, weight room, whatever it is. Like as soon as we finish running outside some workouts, we come in, we look at the times, we're chatting to each other already. So it's like if you don't want to hear your teammates mouth, you're gonna make sure you're always on your game, or somebody's always trying to take your spot, or whatever the case may be. So we're just very highly competitive, and everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to play. Um, Nobody wants to lose. So it's just it's really a dog eat dog world in the locker room, and that's how it should be. You know what I'm saying? That what competition makes everybody better. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is, and that's just
So,
how it's always been. And
so
coming when
yeah. So what I was going to ask you on that, and I think that culture really showed itself in a really important way as we went through the coaching transition is obviously Kurt Signetti and made the move to Indiana with a game left to play. But what thing was really stark and obvious to me is just how much this group of players, even players who had entered the transfer portal, were so committed to each other, so committed to the end goal. Speak to how that leadership group really factored in terms of driving this team to really persevere over a really challenging set of circumstances and lead you towards the bowl game, which was really kind of a culmination in terms of this season's success.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody who plays at JMU and puts on a JMU jersey, they understand that it's a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's playing for their brothers, playing for themselves, playing for their families. And even when the coaches left, and even though some of the guys entered the transfer portal, they understood that, you know what I'm saying, everybody's their brothers, and we're counting on them, they're counting on us, etc. So they don't necessarily want to let their brothers down, even though they're making a business decision for themselves in the future. They still have some loyalty and some ties to their brothers that they've been playing with, sweating with, you know what I'm saying, bleeding with all year round. So it just goes to show you that once you put on a jersey and it says JMU on it, you're really joining a brotherhood, and you can count on your brother to the left or the right of you that they won't leave you just because it conveniences them, or you know what I'm saying, or times get hard, or times get uncertain. But it actually brings us all closer together, and it was really cool seeing all the guys and staying even though there was so much uncertainty, and they had business decisions to make, but they took the selfless act and stayed and finished the season right.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see, and again, just a testament to the leadership and the commitment you all have to not only the program but to each other, which I think is really the bond that is consistently talked about. I did want to maybe last football question is take fans into the transition to obviously Kurt Signetti makes the move, and some of your teammates, as you said, made business decisions to make the trip over to Indiana. Take us inside. What it's been like with Coach Chesney and this new staff. Obviously, we've all seen from the interviews a energy individual, somebody who, at least from conversations with some of his former players, really speaks to his high character, high interest in the person and the people side of the business. Give us a little bit of insight into Coach Chesney and what he's been like to get to know.
Yeah, Chesney, he's been great. You know what I'm saying? So from the first day he's coming in, he's asking everybody, "How are you?" He's trying to get to know you. What moves you? What drives you? He really wants to get to know each player. Within the week of him being here, he had pretty much like positional meetings. You know what I'm saying? Where he got like it was like the linebackers and running backs together, where he brought us up in the club level, sat down with us. You know what I'm saying? Got to know us, where we're from. You know what I'm saying? What's our what's our home life like, what drives us, what motivates us, and really took time out of his, I'm sure, busy day, because he's transitioned as well from moving down here. um really taking time to get to know his players, and whether he's at practice, he's always asking, "Are you okay? Like, you good? Like, how's your day?" So he's really invested with his players. He's really wants to get to know you more than just the superficial of football. He wants to take a deep dive into his players and get to know them. And he always has energy. He's always smiling. He loves ball. He lives, breathes ball, and that's what he does. But he also is a very genuine, good person with a lot of energy. So I'm excited for this season, and I'm excited to meet the new coaching staff. So far, he seems like he did a great job recruiting coaches, getting them here. So now we finally get to meet them this week when we all go back on Monday. So
That's awesome.
hope,
And maybe one last question, because you're a member of this team, and,
yeah,
and no one wants to see this team be successful as much as you do, especially looking at 2024. There are a lot of eyes on JMU football, and a
correct.
lot of eyes on people who are making their own business decision about potentially coming to join the Dukes. As you look at the action that's in the portal, what would be your message to maybe a player who's in the portal right now who's thinking about considering JMU football, and what would be your message to maybe a future teammate about why this is such a special place to play?
Yeah, I would say there's no other place like JMU. It's a beautiful campus, even more beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? They're genuine. They love everybody. It's a great place to be. And then once you put on that jersey, you join a brotherhood. Everybody looks out for each other. You're gonna compete day in and day out. You're gonna work hard. You're gonna win games. Who doesn't want to win games? We're
Yeah.
always gonna win games, no matter who's the head coach. That's just a part of the culture here. We're always going to win games. Um, and there's no better place to be than JMU. You know what I'm saying? It's a phenomenal place to be. I'm going to be a double Duke for a reason. So I would say just really take the chance to get to know JMU, to give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Take a visit, meet the people, walk around, see the campus, talk to the coaches, look at the facilities, and then make your decision. Don't count JMU out. Always consider JMU. It's a great place to be. We're always going to win. We're going to be top 25 every year, no doubt. Bowl game every year, no doubt. So why not? You know what
There you
I'm
go.
saying?
Well, Julio, the one thing now as you transition to the project that you have going on, I was a big fan of the podcast you had with Isaac Gukru, and
Yeah,
one thing was obvious about you, and I found to be really impressive is not only did you have an attention to focus on football, but you clearly were somebody who had a lot of interests off the field as well, whether it's business or things that you were working on. And you launched a project this week that I have a feeling you're pretty excited about. So tell our fans and listeners about this new book and how this project came to be. I know something financial literacy, something clearly that you're very passionate
correct,
about.
correct.
Introduce us to this topic and kind of how it started and what you're excited about in terms of launching this
Yeah.
book.
So I actually have my copy here. So this is the book. It's called The Things I Wish I Knew. This is going to be a series as well. This one is called Financial Literacy for our youth. What really inspired this book was when I graduated in May. So I'm in a book club with some of my friends from high school, and normally like every week we each have goals for each other. So my goal was, because the summer was coming up, so I knew I was going to have a lot of time on my hands. One of my goals was I want to write a book, and originally the book was just going to be like a summary of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like my life story growing up, etc. How I got to college, boom, 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 and it was just going to be something I wrote just for by book club purposes, and just you know what I'm saying as my goal for the summer, or whatever case not. And as I started it, like a light bulb moment happened, and I'm like, hmm, let me do something that can actually have meaning and impact and fit my purpose. And that kind of made me pivot into the financial literacy part, because I'm really invested into finances, et cetera, and stuff like that. Growing up, I've always was a good saver. I was always saving my money. I didn't like spending my money. I was very frugal, and I was also a hustler. So it meshed very well. Like I remember in kindergarten, I got in trouble at school for selling bags of chips. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. So my mom used to buy me bags of chips for lunch, and she used to pack my lunch. So instead of me just taking one, I used to like put a lot of my book bag and used to sell the bag of chips that she used to buy me. So I got in trouble with doing that. So I knew I couldn't sell stuff at school anymore. But when I got to middle school, I was shoveling snow, I was raking leaves, I was cleaning shoes, whatever the case may be, just to make some money. Because that's just who I was. And when I made the money, I always saved the money, because I didn't know what else to do with it. I was like, I'm just gonna save my money. I don't necessarily need anything else. I'm very frugal, but I'm just gonna save my money. And it wasn't until I got to high school, my junior year, is when I really got introduced into a financial literacy, if you want to call it. I was in an accounting class, and then some of my friends um, that are in my book club, they were talking about stocks and stuff, and these things were just normal to them. Like for instance, one of my friends, his father had a stock account for him ever since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what a stock was till my junior year of high school. So they kind of had a crazy head start. And I wanted to create something that just brings awareness to this topic. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to create something that can spark the conversation between parent and child about this topic, this very unpopular topic, but it's very important. And I want to be able to to not only start the conversation between parent and child, but this book, since it's on a elementary school reading and comprehension level, is good for anyone who lacks the basic foundation into financial literacy. And knowledge is all where it starts. If we can just bring awareness to it, kids are curious. They're going to be able to go on their phones. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in the TikTok and all the social media stuff. They can go on their phones and Google these things and ask their mom, hey, what is this? What's that? And for a parent who doesn't even know this, because my parents didn't know this, as I was learning, I was also educating my family, you know, say my parents, my sister, my friends, and stuff like that. And my parents are in their 50s, and they were like, I have no idea what any of this is. So it goes to tell you how unpopular this topic is and how important it is. So I just want to bring awareness to it. And what better way to do it than through a captivating book that shows images, you know what I'm saying, along with words. And it's very easy to read, but it's very important as well, just giving a basic foundation into what is money, how to make money, how to save money, how to invest your money. And if you're a parent that has a kid, what a custodial account is, you know what I'm saying? Start your kids very early by just putting in money in them, and you can start them from when they're born. As soon as they come out the womb, you can open up a custodial account and you're the custodian until they're 18 years old. And now you can simply put $10 a week or $100 a month or whatever the case you want to do, and just kind of let that money grow instead of putting it in like a savings account and inflation is eating it up. So there's just educating people, and especially minorities, on different ways to what to do with your money, so that way you're not behind the eight ball in a sense.
Well, I want to say I know I've as a host of a JMU themed podcast, I've watched this kind of rollout closely, and one thing I've been kind of amazed is just the response to this.
Yeah,
I've obviously saw the article in the Breeze that they did a great job covering this, but we wanted to let you know we were so impressed, and so were our partners, the Skyline Financial Partners, that we want to help in this effort because we share your passion for this subject matter, and we want you to know that we're going to be donating between us and our partners at Skyline Financial 30 copies of your
thank
book
you,
so that you
thank you.
can
I
uh,
appreciate it.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
distribute these two local elementary schools because we agree. We think the potential for this, as well as being a catalyst for other types of conversations or
Correct.
discussions around this important topic. But I guess maybe leading from that I know we're going to help support you. What do you hope comes from this, and what do you think could come next in terms of not only more kids understanding the importance of financial literacy, but also the potential impact that you could have on your teammates, as well as others who might take an understanding of this new world of NIL and the ability to use a
Correct.
platform.
Correct.
You're using your platform for good, and it's really the best sense of what I think this NIL landscape could be. Is it's an opportunity for you to use your voice and your platform as well as the voice of your teammates to really make a positive impact here on the community.
Yeah. So where I see this book going, best case scenario for me, I want it to be implemented in elementary schools across Maryland, Virginia, wherever the case may be. I want it in as many homes as possible. Um, and this because I believe that financial literacy should be taught in school. You know what I'm saying? We get taught math, history, all these things. Why not something that we can immediately use, something that can immediately impact our lives that we're not being taught? And recently, a couple days ago, I pretty much emailed every principal in my county in Maryland, so 137 principals, I emailed them. And I'm going to be emailing more people, librarians, and more stuff, and just to try to get these books in these schools, and because it's a simple read, and hopefully this sparks ideas for teachers to try to and administrators to try to get a class implemented in the school to where it's even an elective, to where kids can sign up and take it. And and the more hands, the better. And like you said, with the NIL stuff, I talk to my teammates all the time. Like we're always in the locker room, and we're in the kind of the culture of I want the new drip, I want the chain, I want this, and I'm always telling them like, look, like put this money in this, put it in there, and let that grow, and then take some money out of that, and then buy the chain, and then buy this. You know what I'm saying? Have your assets pay for these things, and you have to pay taxes on this, and you have to do that. So it's like I talk to anyone who listens, and even if they don't listen, at least I did my part on bringing the knowledge to them. My mom always told me, "You could take the horse to the water, but you can't force him to drink." So you know what I'm saying. So at least I could provide the information to my teammates. And with the NIL, hopefully we can get colleges to do seminars on NIL, taxes, workshops, and et cetera and stuff like that. And we're kind of trying to work on one at JMU. I've been talking to our Duke's leader, Cassidy Clemens, and we're trying to get something going up for the spring for NIL, since NIL is becoming a big thing. Trying to get a seminar, talk about taxes and how to grow your brand and et cetera. So hopefully we're able to get that up and running. But nah, this is definitely big, and I wanted to get it in every school, every middle school, every elementary school, eventually every high school when I create one for older levels. But even this could be good for high schools because some people don't know what it is. So if you really think about it, they're on an elementary school level when it comes to this topic. So it's a great introduction for anyone who is not familiar with the financial literacy topic. So that's kind of how I envision it going.
Awesome. Well, Julio, this project is something that again we really believe in and really passionate about, but it's also an example of what's great about the culture of JMU and what's great about student athletes.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a tremendous amount of focus on what happens on the field, but one thing I'm always impressed with is how so many of the Dukes that I've gotten to know over the years are doing great things off the field, and you're emblematic of that culture and emblematic of that movement. So congratulations, this is a really awesome movement, and I'm excited to hear that you say it's going to be a series because I can't wait to see what's next. I can promise you my kids will be reading the book. And
Thank you, thank you,
one of the
thank you.
30 books that we donate is going to be going into Crestview Elementary School down the street. But one
Great.
last question, just so anybody who's watching this who says, yeah, I want my kids to learn more about it, or I'm interested in helping, where can people get the book? And how can they learn more about what comes next from you, as well as some of the other projects you're working on?
Cool, cool, cool. So you can get the book at my website called TIWIK.co. It's TIWIK.co. So that's my website where you can purchase this book. We're pre-ordering right now. The shipment should be here very soon. So everyone who has ordered one so far will be getting your copy real soon. Um, and for future projects, just follow my social medias. My Instagram is my name, Julio Ayamel. So is my Twitter, Julio Ayamel. Follow me. I'm very vocal about what I'm working on. I post regularly. You can see all my projects. And if you want to get in contact about donating a book, just DM me, shoot me a message. I respond pretty fast. And I hope more people donate so we can get it into kids' hands and minorities communities who can't necessarily afford it, or even if they could, it's free. You know what I'm saying? It's better. So give them an incentive to learn. So, and if anybody has any questions, just feel free to DM me, message me on any of my social medias, and I'll get in contact. And I appreciate all the support and everything. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Well, Julio, good luck with winter workouts and good luck with the launch of the book. I know it's going to be an exciting time for you, and we look forward to cheering you on as you go throughout the spring and into next season. And as always, go Dukes.
Go Dukes. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, Julio.